Hey guys, so welcome to the video. Here we're going to look at, or rather explore, the magic of Sanskrit, and in a way, as a conclusion, linking the microcosmos to the macrocosmos. Now, let's just start off with a basic experiment. Just try uttering any possible sound with having your tongue intact and immobile, right? So you'll realize that the only sounds you can make by default is just the sounds a, u, The rest of the complex sound combinations are simply made by the alteration of your tongue. Now let's apply this reflection upon the cosmos, right? Upon creation. So as we know, the materialistic creation, existence, matter, atoms arose from the big explosion, the sound, the a, u, which is Om itself. Now let's just look at the geometry as to how the sound which initiated the creation of the materialistic universe is simply a reflection at different levels. What we see as the structural geometry of an atom is the same magnified structure of the solar system, and so forth, right? So we can understand that the entire creation universe, yourself or any other aspect of matter you see, has a common underlying geometry from which creation arose, which is the reverberation of the universe, right? So it is like having a matrix of consciousness we call God and having reverberation on it, and that reverberation is what gives geometry to the entire universe. So we all have a common base or a foundation in which we exist in a matter form. Now coming back, so regardless of the sound combinations you use, which you refer to as language, they are all simply a modification of the a, u, sounds done with your manipulation of the tongue. Now just reflect with the universe. Material universe initiated from Om. You can make the basic Om by default. Om constitutes a, u, You make complex sounds which you refer to as language simply by altering the basic tree with the manipulation of your tongue. So the universe should also have a similar mechanism, right? In other words, the language of the universe is just as how you have your language to your own by simply altering the three basic a, u, So that language of the universe is the Vedas. The Vedas are referred to as Shruti because they were heard by the rishis who were in penance, in a state of penance, and they downloaded the various information from the cosmos through an element called the Akasha, in which this reverberation of the universe is existential. So the entire universe is an amalgamation of vibrations because it initiated from a sound, and sound is verily vibration, verily reverberation. So, and that sound is what gives geometry, and that geometry what gives matter its form. And that is why we see everything being a magnification of what is already a basic component, like the solar system being a magnification of the basic atomic structure. So the Vedas is verily the sound of the universe, the complex sound, the language of the universe. When we recite the Vedas, despite them having all these various complex sound combinations, we always start the Vedic recitation with the Om, so as to denote that this is the basic component and through which the language of the universe expresses as the Vedas. And then Vedas gave rise to linguistic Sanskrit. The sounds received as Vedas were identified and refined to form what we have today. as the linguistic Sanskrit. Right? It's not the other way around. Vedas did not arise from Sanskrit. In fact, Sanskrit came from the Vedas. The Vedas, the language, the so-called language of the Vedas has always been referred to as Vaidika Bhasha or Chando Bhasha. Right? So our ancients were so ingenious that they identified these sounds of the Vedas and gave rise to Sanskrit, which verily imbibes the cosmic sound. Sanskrit and Vedas, the sounds are parallel to one another. Sanskrit is like the child born out of the Vedas, right? So in this way, even through layman conversation during the Vedic period, ensure that everyone imbibed the very reverberations of the cosmos initially received as the Vedas. Of course, the Vedas are more complex in their sound usage, such that many of these sounds cannot be even represented by a script. So Sanskrit is a very much refined version of the crude sounds of the Vedas. Now let's just look at how scientific the Vedic sounds can get, which is also a parallel to Sanskrit sounds. So this is just a demonstration of some of the chosen consonants. So these sounds are classified very scientifically as to where they originate from the oral cavity. For example, these sounds p, p, b, bh, m are termed labial sounds because these come from the reverberation of the lips. T, th, d, th, n come from the reverberation of the tongue, of the teeth. Sorry, the dental. This is why they are called the dental sounds. And somehow the tongue is manipulated to position itself on the teeth when we pronounce these sounds. The sounds t, th, d, dh, n are termed cerebral or retroflex, and this is produced by the manipulation of the tongue to position itself on the hard palate. Sounds ch, ch, j, jh, nya come when the tongue is in contact with the soft palate, and these are referred to as palatal sounds, the reverberation of the palate. The sounds k, kh, g, gh, ng are velar sound and they emerge from the throat, right? So we can see how anatomically specific these sounds are identified and we can explore them. So this is a simple example on how scientific the very language has to quote it is. So this is, I would conclude the entire presentation in this slide, where if you are the microcosmos and the universe, the larger aspect of the universe is seen as the macrocosmos, then the parallel to it would be Sanskrit to Vedas.